Can we please just talk about the new coolest like Boba Fett move in history, and that is the freaking knee dart thing that he does? Holy crap, that is my new favorite thing. Like, whoa. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, today are we reviewing the Book of Boba Fett show. I decided to not do episodic reviews just because they don't do well on my channel and they're really boring to film. So I wanted to just take a breather, enjoy the show, and then come and give you guys my thoughts, at the end of it after I've experienced the entire thing. And, I liked this show. I did. For me, it's a solid 8 out of 10. You guys know me. I am a great, big old Boba Fett fan, boy to the max. And this show was fun. It was just fun as a Boba Fett fan to just sit back and relax. There were a couple moments where it was like, yikes, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about the things that I loved, the things that I didn't love, and why I think this new take on Boba Fett is absolutely amazing. So, to start things off, the things that I didn't like about this show. I was not a fan of the Vespa Squad. I mean, I think I can speak for most of us when we say that. I think a lot of people, it just didn't really rub right. It didn't make a lot of sense on why they were so clean, why their bikes were so clean. For living on a planet like Tatooine, it just didn't really make a lot of sense. It's a very, gritty, sandy planet, and for them to just have the cleanest clothes, the shiniest speed bikes, it just didn't make any sense, and they just really didn't contribute a whole lot to the greater story of Boba Fett's expansion, and I just wasn't really a fan of them. Also, don't get me wrong, I loved the Mandalorian episodes that we got in this, but it kind of disrupted the pacing, and I just was a little bit blindsided by it. I didn't expect him to get full-on episodes. I definitely expected him to be in the show, but we actually got Mando Season 3 in this, and don't get me wrong, they were great, but it was just weird transitions, I guess. It just felt weird. It just felt off, maybe. Now, when it comes to the things that I enjoyed about this show, I really loved the Tusken stuff. I thought the whole Boba's backstory and him climbing out of the Sarlacc pit was really awesome. I loved the whole backstory being built up there. I thought they were really cool. I loved the interactions that Boba had with them. I loved the lessons that he learned with them. I thought everything that we got with the Tusken Raiders was a knockout of the park. Super cool action, super cool story, great development for one of my favorite characters. And I had a really good time in those flashbacks. I also really love the new look for Boba Fett. I think the brown with the black and the minimal scratching, I think it's my favorite look for Boba. Hence why I'm making cosplay. But I loved the way that he moved in this show. I thought it was very Boba-like. I did think he talked a little bit too much, but that's okay. It's not that big of a gripe for me, but if I wrote it, I would have had him speak a little bit less. Even Tamir Morrison said that. And I also really enjoyed the action, especially that scene in the finale with Din and Boba Fett just blasting pikes left and right. Bars, that was kind of fire. And Boba on the Rancor is literally something I didn't even know I needed, and now that I've seen it, it's like if the rest of Star Wars was literally just Boba Fett on the back of a Rancor, for all eternity, I'd be okay with that, I think. I think I could live with that. But now let's get to the meat of this video. The real reason I wanted to make this is because I've seen a lot of people calling, oh, Beta Fett, oh, Boba's too weak, Boba's all this and that. And at first, I did sort of agree with that idea. I thought there were some things that were just a little bit too soft about this new take on Boba. But now seeing the finale, seeing the show completed, watching it as a whole, I disagree with that. I really do. And I think that this whole Beta Fett version of the character is kind of the idea. Picture this. We get a Boba Fett show, and it is classic original trilogy Boba. He's going around, he's lighting people up, he's shooting people in the face, blowing people up with rockets. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would be there for it 100%. But would it be a compelling show that has character development, an interesting story, and furthers the plot of The Mandalorian's greater story? No, it'd be cool guy doing cool guy stuff. And as fun as it would be to watch, and as awesome as it would be to just watch Boba Fett just light people up left and right, it's just not interesting. It's not interesting. It's something that you get in an action scene of a movie, and you just kind of, hey, that was cool, and that's it. You know, that is nothing for, or that does nothing for Boba's character as a whole, for moving him forward. Now, like I said, there was times in the show where they made Boba just a little bit too soft. There were some lines that just didn't sit right with me. But as a whole, this new take on Boba, this version of Boba trying to turn over a new leaf and trying to be not gentler, smarter ruler when it comes to not just going in guns blazing and just being a little bit lighter on his trigger finger, I think it brings some real dimension to the character that we haven't seen before. And I think it gives him purpose in this show. It gives him sort of an arc, because even in the finale, Cad Bane's calling him soft, and you know, he's kind of calling him out on this. Boba kind of agrees with him. He's like, yeah, I'm not who I used to be anymore. I'm not that cold-blooded killer anymore. That life did not offer anything fulfilling to me. All it did was bottle up this rage and hate that I have inside for the people in the galaxy, the people that did me wrong. And it got him nowhere. It got him nowhere. What I really liked about this show was in the 4th episode, Boba talks about his reasoning and his motives for wanting to save Tatooine, for wanting to do the right thing. And I dig it. I dig it so hard when he's saying how many lives could have been saved, how much money could have been made, if the decisions of others weren't made so hastily, weren't made so stupidly, if they just had the time to think and really consider the consequences of their actions. So much better could come from it. And the decisions that Boba makes, especially in the back half of this show, when it really focuses in on the present day, illustrates that scene from that campfire with Fennec perfectly. And with Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, being a father figure, he has to have people around him that he knows he can trust Grogu with. Especially if we want to see more Boba Fett. Din's not gonna roll around the galaxy with a cold-blooded killer who might just turn in Grogu for the cheapest bounty, you know, if it hits him in the right mood. That's not the people that Din wants around. To further the story of the Mandalorian, because that is the purpose of the book of Boba Fett, Boba has to change. He can't be the same guy that he was before. And I didn't expect it, and I really, really, really like it. I think it's a very necessary, but also unexpected, but also satisfying change for the overall story of Boba Fett. And I really can't wait to see what these new motives and personality kind of brings Boba into next. I think it's really fascinating. I think it's new. I think it's fresh. And I think it's a good way of showing how a legacy character can change and be different from how they once were. I've had all these thoughts kind of stored up, and it feels good to finally get them out, because I've talked with a lot of people that just don't see it the way that I do, but I've also talked to people that do see it the way I do. And that's the beauty of Star Wars. We get in some fun debates, some fun conversations that you really just can't... another burp, bro. Oh my gosh. That you really just can't have in any other franchise. I feel like Star Wars really resonates with fans and just hits a level of passion that no other franchise really does. Even though some people aren't super keen on this, I had a good time with it. I gave it an 8 out of 10, honestly. It's not perfect, there's flaws, but is it a fun watch? Absolutely. The action's top notch, and it brings Boba in a new, interesting direction that still feels true to the character and gives him purpose for future content. And I can't complain about that. I really can't. I think this show will age better over time. I don't think it'll have the same bad taste in people's mouths that it does now. I think people were just expecting a little bit too much out of it. And that's completely fine, because, you know, the passion that drives us as Star Wars fans, like I just said, is so different from any other franchise. But it's also important to keep your expectations grounded, and it's also even more important to have an open mind when it comes to decisions made with characters that you know and love. And I know it's hard. The sequels cut deep and they hurt us bad. for the fans that didn't like them. But that's just the way that things went down. You can't expect everything to stay the same, because if everything was the same, Star Wars wouldn't be interesting anymore. And as long as they keep delivering good content, as long as they keep, keeping us interested and fascinated with new stories and new characters, I'm here for it, and I can't wait for the future. Anyways, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. What were your thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett? Leave a comment down below. I would love to know what you guys thought. Follow me on Patreon. I just added a new benefit that gives you early access to videos. So if you're at all interested, go and subscribe to my Patreon. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, the works. And I will see you next week. May the Force be with you, always.